Hey there, underwater filmmakers, and welcome back to the channel. It's review time. Well, today, without Matthias, I don't know.
I'm here!
Wow! Man, we started 5 minutes ago.
No, we'll start when I get here.
So, Matthias,
Sebastian.
when I look at your phone, I think I see the reason why you've been late. You want to explain yourself?
I don't have to explain myself, but I can tell the audience why this was the case, because some of you might have seen it. Apple has released a new camera app, the Final Cut camera, that works on ISO devices, obviously, and is something very similar to the Blackmagic app that we all have come to love and appreciate when it comes to using full capabilities of your smartphone's camera, specifically in our cases for filming underwater. So this is huge. I'm really excited about this app. There's not enough time to talk about it in today's video, so I will be making a separate video talking about all the features, the workings and everything that are included in this app, and it's going to be good. If you don't want to miss out on that, make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you get notified when this review video gets published here on the channel.
Well, as we are already talking about smartphones and about diving, how do I get the app with my phone underwater?
Well, there's two ways. You can either just take your phone underwater as it is. Apparently, it's waterproof, and you can try to work the touchscreen underwater like that. You might only be doing that once, though, then have to get a new phone. But the smarter solution is to go for a housing of our sponsor of the series and today's video, which is Divefork. You guys know the Divefork housings, hopefully, and if you don't, then you've probably been living behind the moon for the past year or two. Divefork is the only manufacturer that makes a housing that gives you full access to the touchscreen of your smartphone. And that doesn't have to be an iPhone, that can be any smartphone that's on the market. For us, the best smartphone housings, underwater smartphone housings that there are on the market nowadays, and we can highly recommend these to be able to take your smartphone underwater and get the most out of the capabilities that these little cameras already have nowadays. So thank you, Divefork, for sponsoring this video and this entire series. And also, Divefork is not just sponsoring this video, but giving all of you guys an extra 6% discount on any purchase that you want to make from the Divefork store. So that includes their housings, that includes their lights, handles, tripods, wet lenses, whatever there is in the store. Use the link down in the video description below to access the Divefork web shop, and the coupon code is already going to be included in there. If for whatever reason it doesn't automatically apply, use the code Matthias Lebo up and checkout, and that will get you the 6% discount there.
Amazing.
Happy?
Yeah, totally happy.
I'm very happy.
But we want to make somebody else happy, and that's the person.
Oh, we do want to make someone else. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we do.
Sorry, misunderstanding.
And that's the person who sent us in his video for the review of number 109.
Woo!
And that is Ben Palmer. And
thank you, Ben.
Ben was on a trip to Rotterdam in June. I guess this was this year. So, recently.
Just like a few weeks ago.
Yeah. And he told us, well, he was using some other stuff before, not a big housing. Now he upgraded to a big one, to Nikon Z6 Mark II.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Nikon lens, the 14mm to 30, iCloud housing, 8-inch stone port, 2 Solar Video Pro 15,000 video lights. So he got all in.
That sounds like a proper rig.
He was already apologizing for not including any story. He said he was already awaiting the feedback. So we know that. Maybe we come back to that. But yeah, I'm really curious to find out how's the diving in Rotterdam.
That's very funny how people already make up excuses before we even watch their video. It's cool. By the way, if you guys are wondering why Ben's video is being reviewed now, even if he obviously has just submitted his video like last week. The reason is that Ben subscribed to the membership plan on our channel here, and as you might know, that actually prioritizes your submission here, so that's why he was able to jump the line here a little bit and get reviewed right away. If you want to make use of that as well, down in the video description below, you'll see the link that will take you to the membership program of the channel, and you can sign up there, support the channel that way, and also get your submissions prioritized at the same time. Thank you very much if you decide to do that little extra thing and support our channel that way. And now, without any further ado,
one additional info, because I just read it, and teacher was telling us he was not using, as I understood it, if I understood it correctly, he wasn't using any blue filters and red filters for the camera, so we just have to keep that in mind.
All right.
But yeah, let's
watch it.
Yeah, let's watch it.
Let's do that. Hello, Nursey. thank you, Ben. Thank you very much for submitting your video and giving us a bit of an insight into the diving in Roatan. Roatan, right?
Yeah, Rotan.
Roatan. Excellent. Kind of makes me want to dive
Yeah,
there.
interesting. Yeah.
Like, especially the shark action seemed to have been quite nice.
Yeah, pretty
Well
cool.
positioned on those shark shots, getting that perfect angle from below the shark up towards the surface. Nice. Very nice. What do you think? First thoughts?
First thoughts. Well, he was already talking about a storyline, so I think we don't have to talk about that. We don't have any story.
I think we all agree on that.
Yeah, I think it would benefit from anything like that. What I personally would find interesting if you don't have like a storyline with B-roll from surface or stuff, especially in that case for Rotan, like include some information. Like even if it's only text, you could just give the viewers, just a little information about the diving in general, or the species you see, something like that. That would be once, at least if you don't have any storyline.
Yeah,
you could do that.
I agree. Yeah.
I wanna talk about one thing, and
Oh, yeah, I'm curious. What? Tell me.
because like I know you don't like that.
Oh, we're going to the transitions.
Yeah.
But that was an obvious one.
Well, at least it was consistent.
It was very consistent. I agree. Kudos. Well done on the consistency. Go ahead.
To be honest, I personally didn't like it. It just I don't know. It doesn't fit to it. You know, like if you in my head, if you go into a wreck, like in a like I don't know the English term for this round window in a wreck. How you call that? I don't know. If you go in
porthole.
Porthole? Is it porthole?
I don't know.
Well, you know what I mean? If you go in that one, that would be a transition fitting to that. For everything else, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I know. I'm sorry, Ben. I don't mean to be rude or anything, but I would really drop those transitions. I don't think they're doing any good to your piece. I don't think they're adding any value. They don't really make sense, as Sebastian was saying, being just like in an open field underwater or in a coral scape, and then a transition where you go into a round black sort of circle before you go into the next one doesn't really. I just don't see the connection from one scene to another, and the transition should do just that. The transition is there to help transition from one scene to another, and if it's not actually doing that purpose or fulfilling that purpose, then you're better off just doing a straight cut, in my opinion, and not doing any specific fancy transition. And as I've said many times before in these episodes here, I would really keep my hands off any fancy transitions. Most of the time, there is very few occasions where I would say, yes, it makes sense to use a special transition. But other than that, I would really stick to your straight cuts and maybe the occasional crossfade. Cross dissolve, the cross dissolve, or the dissolve into black or a solid color and then back into the next scene. These are the only ones that I regularly use, but it's mostly really the straight cuts. And again, it's obviously completely up to you and your personal decision whether you want to use any special transitions or not. We can just, from our experience, and I'm hoping you're on board with this when I say we, from our experience, we can tell you that most of the time, like 99% of the time, any special transition doesn't really do it, makes it better than just with a straight cut.
I do totally agree.
Thank you very much.
It's more confusing than it
I'm
helps.
very happy now that's out of the way.
All right. I want to talk about like camera precision and camera movement. I had the feeling sometimes the shots were a bit shaky.
Likewise, yeah.
I think you can, like, at some occasions you could just, like, I know it's hard depending on if there's current and or if there's swell or something. It's hard to hold, like the C6 is a bigger camera, to hold it steady and stuff like that. So what you always can do if it's not possible to hover steady in one position is like push in or pull out, like make a moving. Today is not my day. A moving shot, just to overcome that, so you only have the movement in there and it's not too shaky. And you do not agree, according to your face?
Partially. I only partially agree. Do you want to finish your
Yeah,
sentence?
and the other thing is get closer to the subjects.
Yeah.
It's like if you position yourself, like we saw the Murray eels, we got the stingray, stuff like you just can get lower, get closer. That would increase the quality of the shots.
I totally agree on that
as
one.
well, yeah.
I totally agree on that one.
Whew.
But on the first one with you moving shot, I slightly disagree there, because I think part of the problem with the shakiness in your shots was that you were trying to get moving shots, to capture moving shots. And I think that, and I don't know how, with the iCloud housing and those lights, I don't know how neutrally buoyant your rig is and how difficult it is to move that rig underwater without introducing too much shake. If your rig is not well positioned and well corrected for buoyancy, this might might be a little challenge. So I recommend, Sebastian said, get closer, because with that 14 to 30 millimeter it was the lens,
14
right?
to 30.
You kind of really need to get close, which is also a good thing because you'll get better colors by being closer, because there's going to be less water in between your subject and the camera lens or the camera sensor. So get closer and maybe try, to focus for the time being on stationary shots where you set up your shot, and you can do that quite well. Well, a stingray might swim away, but a moray eel is mostly not gonna go away. Coral scenes are not gonna go away, so you can hopefully not in that time while we're down there, hopefully. So you can focus more on these subjects that are not moving too much, or like an anemone or whatever. Position yourself and then record while you're actually staying in one place, and I think that will help in getting more steady shots. And then later on, once you've got a little more experience with capturing steady shots, start introducing movement. But from my experience working with students underwater, oftentimes the getting your buoyancy right, getting a steady shot, getting a movement into the shot is oftentimes a bit of a task loading, and can be a bit, not confusing, but can be just an overload for people and lead to less than ideal results.
Yeah, and as you said, he was like getting the camera just for the trip. Yeah, I think it takes time to get your rig.
It definitely
really like
does.
buoyant and all the stuff, especially with this DSLR or a mirrorless. Just the rotation around the y-axis, just to get this right. It's not rotating all the time.
Depending on what kind of dome you're using, whether it's a glass, an acrylic, how light or heavy it is, all that plays a big role in all that. Also, I think that and I'm not very familiar with the Z6, it is, right?
Yeah, Mark II, yeah.
I'm not very familiar with like the specs of it, but I'm pretty sure that it can shoot higher frame rates, talking like 60 frames per second, for example. Maybe think about actually using the 60 frames per second to film, and then slow it down to 25 or 30 frames, or 24 or 30 frames in post. That will also add extra stability to your shots that way. Yeah.
I want to go back to the point where you said, where we said, go closer to the subject.
Yeah.
I totally agree. But what I saw is like the video lights he was using are very powerful, and with that, or with them being very powerful, if you're getting closer, you have to dial them back.
You have to dial them down. Yeah.
I saw a few shots where like the core were reflecting or the bottom were reflecting a lot of light, so like they looked like more overexposed. So yeah, that's a good thing. If you're getting closer, just dial them back and get your exposure right.
Absolutely, I agree. We also, like, I've got that here written down as well, the overexposure that was visible on some of the shots, particularly on the shots that were closer, the close-up or mid-range shots. And then I actually liked the shots that you took that were further away. I did like those shots better because your lights were having a less intense implication on your recording, and it seemed to be better. It seemed like when we talk about overexposure, we also need to talk about the colors. And I think that on the shots that were closer, to your subject, you had more problems with your colors, and it seemed that, I don't know, probably the lights were playing their part in that whole equation as well. And when you were further away and the lights weren't really doing much to the scene, it seemed like the camera was getting nicer colors. And I don't know whether you've used manual white balance or auto white balance. I didn't really see too many, hot spots in that way. So I'm assuming that you were actually using. I'm assuming you were using manual white balance. But yeah, it was just somehow off.
Yeah.
On
Well,
a lot of shots.
I think, yeah, there is definitely a area to work on, but this will all change when he gets his red filter and his blue filter, because then it's totally different. I mean, the camera can better reproduce colors if you're using the red filter.
True.
You can work better with the lights if you're having the blue filters on. So I do totally agree. There's a part where to work on and how to combine all these different fields. But when you're using the filters, this is then really the part where you have to start working with it, because then it makes sense.
Yep, agreed. This is something that I still want to mention here, that also the colors did change quite a bit from scene to scene. It wasn't a lot of consistency in the color scheme from one scene to another one. And again, I don't know how familiar, how experienced you are with post-production and color grading and matching colors and all that sort of stuff. I will leave a link to a video that I made a little while ago down in the video description below that talks about color matching different clips to one another. It's a very simple, easy way of how you can actually match these colors to one another, or these clips to one another. So maybe have a look at that and see if that is helpful for future underwater video projects. I have one, two things more that I would like to mention. I would like to talk about the music. I did really like your choice of music. I think it was quite fitting to what we were seeing, to the scenes and everything. It was a good match, I think. What kind of got me a little bit was that in sort of the middle of the clip, the music changed without like a noticeable change of the visuals. And I would really only do that if you have a specific change of scenery, a specific change of what we are seeing, then it makes sense to change, or it can make sense to change the music track. If that's not the case, I would stick with the same track throughout the entire video. And I know sometimes, and I had this problem before myself, sometimes we find a track, we like it very much, but it's just not the appropriate length that we need for our video, right?
Well, there's another video, I think, made by you.
Yeah, not just by me, but there's also one made by me that shows you how you can, with Adobe Audition, very simply with one click, adjust the length of any music or any audio track to the desired length. And if this is my track I want to use, but it's not like long enough, I need it to be, instead of 2 minutes, I need it to be 3.5 minutes. With one simple click, you can get that done, and you have your audio clip file in the appropriate length. Again, I'll link it down in the video description below, so feel free to go and check that out. Maybe that is helpful, again, for future underwater video projects.
Cool. Anything else on your end?
No, I think that's pretty much it. I think that's the most important things from my side that I would like to pass on to you, Ben. I think there is, with small adjustments, I think you can actually improve quite a bit on your underwater videography results, which is actually a nice thing. So you don't really have to do a lot of work, but it's a few small adjustments, and I think you'll see dramatic changes and improvements in the results that you're getting. I
agree.
Is it you summing up today?
I don't know. I was thinking about it, and I was like, I don't know.
Well, I think because you've started writing stuff down.
Yeah, I'm just being prepared.
I was just talking, so why don't you go ahead and sum it up for Ben then?
All right, I try. Ben, thank you very much for your submission. We'd like to catch a tune at the beginning, and the impressions you showed us of the underwater world in Roatan just makes us curious to go there and do some shark action in Roatan.
Right.
We think you talked about that already in your email. You should work on the storytelling just include some information if you don't want to do like a bigger storytelling with B-roll and all that stuff. Just information for the viewer to know what's happening on the screen, where they are, what they see, stuff like that. We think you should get rid of the transitions, like the fancy transitions. Stick to a standard cut or to a dissolved transition, something like that, something which helps the video and not distracts the audience. The other thing we talked about is like the overexposure. It's a little bit depending on the camera settings, what you're using, like the aperture and the shutter speed, and obviously the power of your lights if you're getting closer to the subject. Just try to get that in a way that it's not overexposed at the end. And then you talked about it. You're getting the red filters, you're getting the blue filters. We like it. It's a very good idea.
Definitely.
When you do that, yeah, it is hard work to get there then, but then start like matching the clips as well in terms of colors, and so we get the same blues and stuff like that. But yeah, we're looking forward for your next submission. We like it. It's cool.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I talked enough, and now you can talk on. Keep on talking.
All right, cool. Well, again, thank you, Ben, for your submission. As always, we'll link Ben's video and his YouTube channel down in the video description below, so you guys can go and check out what other content Ben has got on his YouTube channel. If you have a video you would like to submit to the review here, then please send us an email to contact@matthiaslebo.com with the link to the uploaded video and a little description of where the video was taken, what equipment you've used, all that sort of stuff. Anything that helps us in reviewing your video and giving you the best possible tips that we can. Now, with Ben's video being, let me check, 4 minutes and 16 seconds, it qualifies to enter our competition to win a spot on the Maldives underwater videography workshop that we had just announced a few weeks ago and will happen from April 6 to 13 on Dangeti Island in the Maldives. The prize is worth $2,500. So if you want to have a chance of winning that prize and joining us on that trip basically for free, well, then you know what to do. Send us your submission, and there's going to be a video also linked down in the video description below, which gives you all the details and all the criteria that you need to fulfill to be able to enter the competition and have a chance to win that trip. Other than that, no, there's nothing other than that. That's pretty much that's pretty much the end of today's video. So thank you again for watching, guys. I hope you were able to get some information and some benefit out of this review here. If that's the case, let us know by hitting that like button or leaving a comment down in the video, in the comment section down below. We will see you next Thursday.
Yes, we do.
For number 110 of our reviewing series here. Until then, have a great week. Keep capturing all these amazing underwater adventures of yours, and we are looking forward to seeing you back here on the channel next Thursday. Take care and see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.